Rhode Island is the smallest state in the United States. So my parents got there because my mother could not have any children. So she went through 6 procedures, and it took her 6 years to have me. And finally, I'm not going to tell you the year I was born, but it ends with a 6. I was born. And my grandfather said, you know, this is so interesting. 6 operations, 6 years. She was born in blank, blank, 6, right? We have to give her a name with the number 6. So he wrote down the number 6 in English, S-I-X. And then he said, she's been so secret, but she's going to be so intelligent like the Central Intelligence Agency. So they put the number 6 and CIA together and came up with my name. I swear that's the true story. All right, so I grew up in Providence, in the inner city of Providence, and I used to get in a lot of fights because of my name. So when I turned 7, people used to crack on me. They used to say, oh, now you're going to be 7 Sia, and then when I was 8, then 8 Sia, and 9 Sia, and 10 Sia, and whatever. So anyway, I knew how to box, kickbox, take off my earrings. Where's the Vaseline at? Is gonna go down because of my name. But I'm proud of my name because it means so much, right? And it has a lot of significance. Today's presentation is sharing your story through online video. I am one of 15 speakers in the United States that educate small businesses on topics like this. We also have topics that range from how to grow your website and how to optimize your business on a platform called Get Your Business Online with Google. So there's only 15 of us, and I'm one of 2 that can rock un poquito de español and inglés. But today's session is going to be in English. After this session, there's going to be 2 more, so all of you are welcome to stay. Like I said, it is going to get packed. You're going to see people coming in and out. Okay? Are we ready to rock it? Yeah, say, oh yeah for me. Come on, I only got 5.2 hours of sleep, and I'm here. And I didn't even have Cuban coffee. I had regular mountain coffee. Okay, let's do this. Okay, check this out. Do we have any Facebookers in the room? Any Facebookers? All right, that's good. All right, do we have any snappers? Snapchatters? No, we have Snapchat? No. By the way, this is Snap? Okay, good. By the way, this is interesting. So in my travels, there's a new way of clapping, and it's doing this. How many people do that? Is that cool? Is that cool? I'm just saying, that was something new that I learned. I like that. So you can feel free to snap your fingers if you like. Okay, great. How many people are on Netflix? There we go, Netflix. That's right, give it up for Netflix. How about Insta? How about Instagram? All right? Okay, great. So if you look around the room, almost everybody's hand has gone up, right? We are all connected somehow, some way, visually, right? On video. We're using context to understand and to also learn. At the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to go to different places. We want to know about different things, right? And we want to buy. We want to know, go, and buy, right? So today's session, we're going to be talking about how to grow your story online and how to use YouTube to do that. So in the human race, there are 4 things that we do, right, to keep us sustainable. We sleep because we need sleep. We eat. We communicate. Okay? I'm going to bust out my cell phone because I know everybody has one. I do not leave home without this. Okay? This is my photography machine. This is my video. This is my communicator. This is my alarm clock. This is my radio. This is my everything right here. I get separation anxiety. So I am always on this. And then finally, we watch videos, all right? How many people here can relate? We watch videos, right? How many people here are on YouTube? Are on YouTube at least once a day? Maybe once a day, okay? Okay, how about every other day? A show of hands, okay? It's a pretty significant amount of people, but this is the reality. Statistics show that we need these things. We absolutely need sleep. Okay, we need to eat in order for us to function. We need to share information through communication, but we also need to watch, okay, to experience, to learn, and to learn fast. We want this information immediately, right? And that's eye-opening. but that's just the reality of what we're experiencing today. Okay, check this out. 82% of all consumers are on internet traffic, right? And that number is going to be growing. Next, this is an astonishing number. There's 1.8 billion people, okay, billion people that are connected on YouTube on a monthly basis, right? More people are connected, more than ever before, and that number is expected to grow significantly. We see it for all of you that are here this morning. You're probably in the process of making a video, of trying to figure out what to say and how to say it, how to become convincing, right? In a way that's entertaining, in a way that's not boring, in a way that maybe whoever is watching will look at the video until the end. Because a lot of the times what happens is when you start a video, what happens? You're like, all right, this is good. After maybe the first 30 seconds, you're like, okay, let me speed it up. Or let me change it, right? Let me go to the next video, to the next suggestion. Next, okay? Choice drives user engagement. When YouTube first started expanding its reach, they didn't have much of a selection. But what happened was they understood who the consumers were. Based on analytics, based on all the information that they were gathering, they were able to identify and figure out what the avatar of their clients, right, of the people who were watching. So, and then they thought, okay, you know what? We're going to give people a choice. And the more choices they gave people, the more opportunity they had to expand. And the more opportunity they had to start to sell things online. So it wasn't a story now. Now it was part of commerce. And isn't that a beautiful thing? Especially if you're looking to start or grow a business in a very creative way, where you're now in front of the consumers that you need to get in front of. So this is fascinating because choice drives user engagement, right? And sometimes, so in the regular marketing world, right, when we think about marketing, when we try and figure out, okay, well, what is my message going to say? The power of marketing is simplicity. We should probably only give consumers, right, 3 options. 1, 2, 3. After that, too much is overwhelming, right? However, when it comes to video selection, right, we do something like this. We bust out our phones, right? Because 99% of us, we watch videos on our cell phones, right, or on our iPads. It's a combination. We do this with our thumbs. We start doing the thumbing exercise. Bow, 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 bow. Am I right? Right? We do this. I see you. You go like this. Okay, let's see what else is new. So if you watch that first video, right, YouTube has now, based on the information that it has collected, it says, you know what? If this viewer likes this video, it's probably gonna like this other video, which makes it so much more appealing because now it starts to create an engagement with the viewer. Now, what does that have to do with consumers and with folks trying to, let's say, get their product and service in front of potential buyers? A lot of these presentations, just so you know, they're based on helping small businesses share their product and services online. So if you're already in business, this presentation is going to help you. If you're looking to get a business, you should really use this as part of your business plan, as part of your business plan roadmap, okay? By the way, you're also going to have access to this presentation. Got it? Okay, let's go. So what are we going to be talking about today? The first thing is we're going to be talking about creating an eye-catching video content. Content is king, okay? Next, we're going to be talking about how to build a YouTube business channel. Then we're going to be talking about how to capture attention with video ads. There's going to be 3 types of ads that we're going to be talking about. And lastly, we're going to be looking at how to measure the impact of video content. It's very, very similar to marketing in the real world. If you are not measuring, then you are not marketing. If you're just throwing stuff out like this, ba, 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 and hoping that some people are catching and some people don't, that's not real marketing, right? You're just going crazy, right? So we're going to be talking about how to measure those things. Okay, And we only have about 40 minutes, by the way. I'm just saying, I'm going to get some hand signals in the back. Okay, so let's look at how to create eye-catching video content. Really important here. When I talk about content, there are 3 kinds of content that I want you to understand. The first is text, okay? The second is video, and the third are pictures. All of these things, they constitute content when it comes to Google and when it comes to Google trying to understand what you're putting out there, the content. So the more content you have out there, the more you'll be able to get found online and on Google organically versus paid, okay? So I just wanted to put that out there. So check this out, 50 to 70% of campaigns return on investment depends on the creative. So what does that mean? It really means that if you don't have interesting and engaging content, then you're not able to really grasp the kind of audience that you're looking for, right? It might just be stuff that you're putting out there. So the kind of content that you should be looking for really depends on your clientele. It depends on your prospects. It depends on whatever that person is looking for. And when I talk about person, I talk about the consumer, right? So every business has a different kind of consumer. And to tell that story, to really understand what the consumer is, you have to understand what their behaviors are like. And if you don't understand what their behaviors are like, then you're not able to figure out what keywords you need in order for them to get engaged, in order for you to share the story or to tell the consumer about your product and service, right? Keywords are extremely important, right? And it truly has to do with those phrases, the words, and also in the manner in which you share that information to your potential consumer. So if you're looking to bring something in front of your potential consumer, it's really figuring out, okay, well, what is the demographic of this person? Where do they typically shop, right? Is it mainly a male or a female kind of demographic? What kind of conversation would be appealing to them? If you're interested in reaching, let's say, the millennial market, okay, or the Gen X, which is there are 2 different kinds of markets. The conversation is going to be different. For businesses that are looking to engage with millennials, everything needs to be fast. Fast, fast, fast. If not, guess what? Deuces. That means peace. They are out. Peace out. You know that? Do you know that expression? Peace out? Because I say it all the time. I say it all the time when I'm traveling and when I'm taking out my phone and I'm looking for a location, right? I'm looking for somewhere to go and I finally find a website, maybe the top 3 or 4, right? And if I go to the website and if the website doesn't download quickly, guess what? I'm out of there. I go to the next website. If not that one, then I'll go to the next one. Why? Because it's not loading quickly for me. Now, I'm not a millennial, but I like to behave like a millennial. I'm Gen X. But still, it's the concept of time for me. So if you know and if you understand that your consumer is impatient, then your information, your video, your website needs to be uploaded quickly, right? And in our next session, if you stay, we're going to be talking about how to optimize your websites and your pages. But let's move on because we have a bunch of slides that we have to get through. Okay, check this out. So the day and age of Nike, Reebok, bigger companies, bigger brands putting out commercials, right? That's now changing. We know this because we see bigger brands competing against average videos, right? Where the quality isn't as crisp. It doesn't take thousands and thousands of dollars to create a video. It simply takes creativity, like I said, content, because it's king, in order for you to compete against bigger brands. And isn't that beautiful? I mean, you can, if you like, right now, if you had an idea, and if you had a roadmap, if you had everything already set up for your product and service, if you said, all right, I have everything, I understand who my clientele is, I understand what my content is, I understand what my keywords, right? You can create a video on your phone in probably 5 minutes. You can save it, You can upload it to YouTube. You could add the content necessary to reach your market, and you can post it, okay? The power of your phone and the power of YouTube, that combination right there will help you move your business dramatically. Or if you're looking to start your business, at least it'll give you some information on who your clients or who your potential clients are. Isn't that an amazing thing? I mean, years ago, we used to pay so much money, and I'm not even going to throw out numbers, right? But we used to hire marketing experts to tell us who our clients are, right? And where they live, and what kind of conversation they prefer to get. Today, we can gather all of that information ourselves using platforms like YouTube, right? Where YouTube also has a function where it tells you specifically, now we're talking about analytics, it tells you specifically where your viewers came from. It tells you what time they went to your video, okay? It tells you what state they lived in, okay? And it tells you how long they were on your video. Now that's an amazing thing, because now with the power of creating ads, now you have the ability to shape those ads and to say, you know what? I understand that my viewer is only going to be looking at my video for maybe 30 seconds, maybe 20 seconds. So now you have the ability to create a campaign, an ad, that is only that long. So and then that way you can get full access to that person's attention, right? And we do it. I remember when I first started doing videos, this was actually kind of funny, and we're going to be talking about the different kinds of elements that you need in order for you to make, you know, at least a decent, clear, good-sounding video. But it was funny because back then they didn't even have, do you remember the, well, we have them now, the tripods for the iPhones, right? So what I do was I had a stepladder, and I wish I took a picture of it because it was pretty funny, but it was real, and that's the way I got started. So anyway, it was a stepladder, and I put on like a bunch of books. I remember I had this big, you know, the Webster's Dictionary. I think I put a Bible up there, whatever, you know, those thick books. So I put them, and then like in the back I had a cup. And literally, I had my cell phone, right? And I was near a window because I needed to get that natural sunlight, right? And then I had, instead of a lapel mic, I had, it was the earphones from the iPhone that had just come out because it had the little speaker on there and the quality was pretty cool. So picture this. And I don't know if any of you have experimented with this, but I'm laughing right now because I could still see. And this was literally only about 5 years ago. So that stepladder with all the books with the video was right there. And then I'm going like this, but you can't really tell. So I'm leaning over because the mic, right? I couldn't step back because, and then if not, then it would pull my phone. And it's hilarious because I'm like this. I'm like, hey, this is Sixia, and today I'm going to be talking to you about service learning in developing countries and blah, blah, blah. And then I would mess up all the time, all right? I would mess up all the time, and I'd be like, oh, and I have to go back and do it again. And I was sweating because it was hot and the sun was coming through. Anyway, it was real interesting. But those videos that I put out there, they actually got a ton of likes and views because it's sometimes, you kind of see you see my face kind of going like this if I'd mess up. And then in the background, I had this whiteboard because I needed to remember my tips and what I was sharing, right? Because I couldn't really do it off the cuff because I was a little nervous because in my head, I was thinking, oh man, I'm like, what are people gonna say? This is gonna look like, it's gonna look super whack, it's gonna be terrible, like second rate. However, it was the opposite. It was real interesting because it was real, it was fun. And anyway, this is just an example of what people do in order for them to get their videos up and running. So I'm just curious, how many people here have tried something like this to create videos just the way I've explained it? All right, okay, now I see you. That's okay. There's no shame. You see, I'm sharing my story with all of you. I don't know any of you. And it doesn't even matter because it's over. But it's funny because this is the reality of video. And it's fun. can, because people like to see authenticity. And even that kind of like little shaky thing that you see sometimes in video, that's kind of cool too. At the end, it's about what we talked about before. It's about content. Content is king. Content engages people in telling a good story. Okay, so to my point right here, I wanted to say that bigger brands might have the capital to create a nice, shiny, glossy, non-moving video. However, for us, for businesses that are looking to get in front of our consumers, we also have the ability to compete because of the authenticity, because of the human connectivity that we offer video. And that is very powerful. The trick is, though, for us to get over the hump of not taking action, because the information is here and I'm giving it to you right now to help you create a video, right? Now it's up to you to figure out, okay, well, how am I gonna use video? What's my story gonna be like? How can I use my content or my business plan to implement the strategies in YouTube? Does this make sense for everyone? Okay, good. Okay, great. So there are three main elements that constitute effective content, and they are the following: education, entertainment, and inspiration. If you use any three of these elements, I promise you that you will get views. You will get a lot of feedback, right? Education is powerful. You've experienced this, okay? I'm always Googling on YouTube. I'm always Googling how to. Okay, how-to things, right? How to become, a better mom. I don't know. These are real questions that people ask, and I do, right? How to travel effectively, right? How to braid my hair, because I can't see and I don't know how to do that, and I want somebody to show me, which is true because my hair is really long and I had to put it up because in Miami my hair is like a bush. So I had to put it up, right? But I'm just like, well, what if I want to braid? How to braid my hair, right? We're always doing that, okay? Entertainment, right? We live in an era where people like and need to get entertained somehow, right? So that takes creativity. And finally, inspiration, right? We've seen inspirational videos all of the time about people doing special things, right? Powerful things that move you in a way that makes you remember, okay? In a way that you feel, right? Because feelings, they lead you to remember certain things. If you take those three areas and if you implement them in the content of your story, remember, this will help you get views, and it'll help you get your point across easier, and it'll be a lot of fun. Okay, great. So here are some ideas to get your video started, okay? Here are some things to talk about. Now, I'm just curious, in the room, how many people already have their business? Just by a show of hands. Okay, awesome, nice, very good, congratulations. How many people here are looking to start a business? Just by a show of hands. Okay, all right, good. And how many people here are just attending because their teacher told them to? All right, okay, all right, we got 3 people, that's okay. Okay, good. I just wanted to get a feel in the room because what we're going to be talking about now is really about some of the content that you need. So here are some ideas to get you started. The first one is, okay, how to get your product made. Now, this is, it can seem simple, right? It's simple. It's like, okay, well, I know how my product is made. Let's say that you are in the business of creating lotions, organic lotions, okay? So something that you could create, as an example, you could show people how to create organic lotions. So show them what the process is. That's just an example, right? If you're in the process of, if you're in the business of, let's see, I don't know, let's get some real examples. So the people that are in business, what's your business back there? Cigar manufacturing, that is an awesome one. And we are in Miami. If I smoke cigars, I'd be like Cuban and then Dominican cigars. But I don't smoke, but that's pretty cool. Nicaragua and Honduras. Wow, that's real good. I was just in Honduras a few months ago. Nice. Okay, so how your product is made. So picture this, right? Picture that we are in, what's the name of your business? Omega Tobacco? All right, cool. We are in Omega Tobacco. Omega Tobacco makes tobacco. Let's just say that's the title of the video. You go in, right? And you could film it with your iPhone, okay? And you could show how the cigars are made from start to finish, which is, it's a beautiful experience. And sometimes, and I find this to be real interesting, because we are in the business of our business, we are industry experts, right? So we're there, and sometimes we underestimate the power of us knowing and understanding about our product. However, the outside community doesn't know anything. And just going in and showing them the process from drying, from putting, and I don't know much about leaves, but just putting that whole process from A to B. You can create a video in about 60 seconds of snaps of people doing things with some music in the background, which could be real appealing, right? Because what you're doing is you're showing, right? You're letting people know, hey, this is the process. Then you have to figure out, well, what is your call to action? So this is part of the whole video. It's like, okay, well, now that I understand that, I'm showing how to make my product. Now, what do I want them to do? Do I want them to come to my store? This is where the ads come in, right? And we're going to be talking about how to create Google ads or YouTube ads that are most appealing to your consumers, okay? So that is just an example that you can use. Next, the whole service process. If you're in the business of, let's say, consulting or maybe giving advice, there's a lot of marketing folks out there, right? So maybe giving tips, this is a good one, right? If you're interested in maybe optimizing your social video, your social marketing, the question might be, and here's a video that you can create, right, to engage other people. You could say, here are 4 things you could do right now to help optimize your Instagram. So the challenging part is to do it fast and interesting and engaging. And that takes practice. And that goes back to what I was saying to you before, is that content is king. And using steps is also very powerful. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the first thing you do. This is the second. This is the third. This is the fourth. Try not to overwhelm your viewer. Usually in threes works. Here's the first, the second, and the third. That's great. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Keep it simple. Next, what makes you stand out? As a business, what's your product and service? What makes you stand out? Okay? And then the customer experience. And finally, why you started your business. This is a good one. This is a good one because if you are in the business, more specifically of service, you're in the business of people. We're all in the business of people, right? And when you first start your business, and this happened to me, so a few years ago, this is... it's probably about 8 years ago. So I run a nonprofit organization where we travel to developing countries and we work with women and children, and we help to rebuild homes and schools. And anyway, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of humanitarian work. And I remember when I first started that nonprofit, I was just like, wow, like I am the president of this nonprofit. And then I started to think, I'm like, you know what? It's not about me. It's not about my nonprofit, right? And I think that sometimes we get to that point where we realize and we understand, especially when we have to share the message of our business, it's about your consumer, your donors, 100%. But I remember thinking that. I remember saying, wow, look at this. This is so cool. I'm so proud of myself and blah, blah, blah. You know what? That was a real selfish approach. The best way to do business, and the thing that's kept our organization in business for so long, for 8 years, is taking a selfless approach, stepping out of the me and stepping into the we. It's understanding your consumers. It's saying, well, how can I help you, right? It is about everybody else, because guess what? If your consumers aren't purchasing your products, if your donors aren't giving you money, then you are going out of business and you will not survive. So it's taking this service approach, which is so beautiful and it's so interesting and it's so completely underrated, right? The question you should all be asking yourselves as you create videos, but I would also add, as you start moving forward in life, is how can I be of benefit to the people around me? How can I be useful and how can I be helpful? And I think if you take anything away from today's presentation, from today's session, is just that. How can you put yourself in the service of others, right? And then deliver 100%. 100%, you deliver on that. And it goes for content, it goes for creation, and it goes for creating anything you want, okay? It's very, very simple, but it's also very powerful, and it can be a lot of fun. Okay, so a few things to help you define your focus. Because I know, listen, I travel a bunch, and I get creative ideas all of the time. I'm just like, wow, it would be really cool to do this or to start this or to market this way or to do this video. It's all great. And sometimes the focus, right, that could be very challenging. But my suggestion would be is you take one thing, you focus on that one thing. When you're creating a video, if it's creating a cigar story from start to finish, if it's telling your story about your nonprofit, how you got started and what inspired you, then you stick to that, right? And you also stick to themes. The next thing is write out your ideas, okay? After this session, take some time. After you figured out, okay, what is my focus? From there, just brainstorm ideas, okay? What are 3 ideas? The other thing I would do is I would probably I'd probably identify 3, I'm gonna stick to that number 3 videos that are appealing to you and why they are appealing to you. Because that's gonna get you some really interesting creative ideas, okay? You don't wanna copy. However, you do want to model success. You don't want to reinvent the wheel, but you certainly want to understand what people are doing and how they're doing it, okay? Remember this, the time, we have no time, okay? Although it is up to us to make time to help us move forward. So we want to understand what's working, so then that way we can mirror success next. Read your script out loud, okay? So do you remember me when I was doing this on my phone and I was like leaning in, I was just like, okay, I was reading from my whiteboard, like super ghetto fabulous. I was just like, all right. But and then, so what I did was I started to like, figure out, okay, well, how can I really internalize this content? So when you write and when you speak, it's 2 different types of conversation. You should try it, okay? But the first thing is write out your thoughts. Once you get your focus, once you get your ideas out, write it out, right? And then read it out. Read it out loud, okay, to yourself, but you don't want to read it into the video, into the camera, whatever camera you're using, okay? My approach is whenever I'm speaking in front of a camera, I pretend that I'm speaking to my best friend all the time with smile, very comfortable. And sometimes that's really hard for people to imagine that, right? But you're speaking to your best friend and you're telling your best friend that, hey, I'm working on this idea about creating this video about cigars, and I want people to come in. I want them to experience the whole culture of it and this, that, and other. So you see how I just did that? So I'm looking around and I'm pretending that I'm speaking to my best friend, okay? And it certainly takes practice. The other thing you could do to help you do this is get a mirror and put it in front of you, right? Try not to be overly critical. I'm so critical of myself. I'm just like, oh, please. My hair is a hot mess right now. And I'm looking, and I'm like, all right, let me just see, how would I look if I was speaking in front of this? What are people going to be, identifying me with, okay? At the end, here's the big secret. People don't really care what you look like. They care whether or not you're helping them. And they care whether or not you're sharing the message, right? Whatever story you're putting out there, okay? So remember, again, content is king. Although we can have a whole conversation on visuals as well, because it does matter a slight bit when you're first starting out. In anything that you do, and I'm talking more on a physical level, not really when we talk about video. We'll talk about that in the next presentation. Okay, so these are some really great tips on scripting and storyboard. So first thing is, write it out, have a hook, okay? Write a short overview. And then read it out loud. Internalize it. You're going to see that you're going to be coming up with different words, with different ideas, okay? So here are some helpful things to do. So break it down, so it says shot by shot, but it's really one sentence, okay? One sentence per shot. So try doing that. And then finally, focus on the first 5 seconds. The first 5 seconds are really important because that's when you're going to grab people at the beginning, right? So to start off, the idea of you communicating in front of your ideal target market is going to be really important, right? If your ideal target market, if it's millennials, right? Then again, I'm going back there. But you know that it has to be, you know, something fast, something interesting, creative, right? Okay, let's move on. Is this helpful for you, by the way? Okay, great. Okay, so check this out. Let's talk about producing the famous video, The Space, okay? Think visually. Remove clutter, okay? This is so interesting. So as you start doing this, make sure you know you could see whatever's behind you, okay? Because there could be some distracting things. Take out whatever books you don't want people to see, whatever photos, make it nice and clear, okay? A blank background is probably the best. You can have a bookshelf, that works. Maybe you want to have some plants in the background to brighten it up, that's great. Here's another thing. Show your logo, right? Or your workplace, okay? If you're just starting out, you can use iMovie on your phone. I don't know what Samsung has, but what you could do is you can upload your logo onto iMovie and then save it. And then once you save it, you can upload it to YouTube. And I'm going to show you how to create a YouTube channel for your business in a little while. But anyway, it's very helpful. Next is lighting. So use natural light. Do you remember when I used my window? I was like, "Fah." But the sun was like coming like right here. So you want to make sure that it's not that the sun isn't directly on you because you get that shiny effect. But you want to have it just right, okay? Next, face the camera. Okay, so a lot of people, you know, they're not really facing the camera. And make sure that when you're looking into the camera that you're looking right into it. Another thing that I used to do, which was kind of crazy, but I used to put a teleprompter, okay? I used to upload, there's something called teleprompter.com where you could use this as well. And so I used to upload my content. So and then that way I could see, I could read what I was sharing. These were for like longer videos, for like 3-minute videos, because it was a lot of information. And I was like, all right, let me see if this works. So and then I used to go like this. And then this was real funny. So behind my ladder, behind the books, I managed to get my laptop. And then there was my phone because my laptop at the time, my camera wasn't as good as my camera phone. So the camera phone is actually, it's a good quality video to use compared to your computer. So anyway, so I used to put it in the back and I used to read. So I used to read the teleprompter. And so you used to see my eyes beyond the camera, and it just used to look like my eyes were going ping pong, you know, ba 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 ba, and it was terrible. It was terrible using the teleprompter. However, using a teleprompter, it helped me internalize my content because I had to read that like over and over again, over 50 times, right? But it does help you get comfortable and then you kind of see your mistakes, and it was a lot of work. But anyway, so at the end of the day, so face the camera. It's going back to what I mentioned to you before. You're speaking to your best friend. You're speaking to your abuelita. My abuelita is my best friend, my grandmother, right? She passed away about 1.5 years ago. But I still, so when I talk to the camera, y cuando estoy haciendo presentación en español, I go like this, and I'm looking at her, and I have this, you know, this very, it's a very different look than the reading look. So the reading look might be like, "Hi, my name is Sixia, and I'm from Google," right? And I blah, blah, blah. So that's real different than going like this, right? Than just speaking. It's making that connection. And again, it takes practice. And practice, as the cliche goes, makes perfect, okay? But try it. I promise that you're not going to be disappointed. So again, Facing the camera is very important. Avoid shadows, because sometimes that could create a halo effect, and it could be a little bit distracting. Next thing is the sound, okay? The sound is really important. A lot of people use the technique that I used to use, which was the headphones, right? With that little speaker. That's real cool. And it was good quality. If you start to create videos on a professional level, you should invest in a mic. Okay, you can buy them for, I think the starting price is probably about $25 or something like that. You go on whatever platform you like and you can purchase them. And then next thing is speak confidently. And again, it goes back to what I was saying to you before. It certainly takes practice, okay? And even before I would set all of my stuff up, I just probably do a run, just real quick, maybe do your personal pitch. For a lot of you in the room, I think that this is real interesting. So as you start going out into the workforce, if you're not growing your business, but let's say you're in the middle of a transition, this will probably set you apart than any other person that is interviewing. So as you step out into the workforce, okay, if you can create your personal video, okay, you know how there's an elevator pitch? Well, there's also a professional pitch where you could just simply taking all of the tips that I've given you and video record yourself, I think that it shares a lot about who you are professionally, right? And it should be about a minute or less, right? It shows you're confident and you're trying something new, okay? I gave a talk about 2 weeks ago in Rhode Island at Salve Regina University, and that was actually a topic of conversation on how people could stand out, how folks that were interviewing for different jobs or positions, right, looking to get into different industries, how they could differentiate themselves. And video was one of the ways. So using the tips that I've just shared with you could really help you stand out. Again, it is going to take practice. We're going to skip this here. So I only have a few more minutes, but I do have another session coming up, so you're welcome to stay, okay? So we have a few more slides left here. Okay, so the first step is to create your business YouTube channel. So you log in. Now make sure when you create your business YouTube channel that you use your business email address, your business Gmail address, okay? You can use your personal one, but it would be important for you to distinguish between your personal and your business, okay? Next, choose a category. They're gonna ask you 4 things, okay? What kind of industry do you fall into? And the reason why they do this is because that way they can help target the kinds of clients or consumers or viewers that are going onto YouTube. And I promise I'm gonna send this to you. You could take pictures. This is awesome. Are you taking pictures of me? There you go. Oh, hashtag Miami. All right, guys. Okay, step 3, identify the best practices for your category. So they're going to give you some options. Does the channel include one type of video content or a mix, okay? Does it include music? And make sure if you do include music, you give credit where credit is due, and there's also some copyright issues. But YouTube, which by the way is second to Google when it comes to search, YouTube gives you different options for you to use, different music options, right, where you could use for free. So you want to take advantage of that. Okay, next, are audiences similar across channels or within categories? At the end of the day, they're going to ask you for specifics, so that way they can help your video get in front of the kind of viewers that you're looking for. Okay, introduce your channel to viewers. This is also a really interesting concept. So if you're creating a video about cigars, you might want to let people know in about a minute or less. Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel, you're going to experience the whole process of making a cigar from start to finish and some of the economic benefits that go along with it. So stay here, and then this is what you're going to learn. We're going to entertain you, we're going to inspire you, and we're going to help you get the best prices. That's just an example, okay? So having an introduction video could really help you engage the kind of viewers you need. Next, don't forget the details, okay? Of course, make your own channel. Set up your channel like a storefront, okay? Using your own picture would be great. It would be nice to have maybe a combination, your own picture with maybe a logo. So, and then that way you could start to create brand awareness for your viewers. Be searchable on YouTube and with metadata. This is mainly keywords and phrases that will help get you in front of your consumers. And in my next workshop, we're going to be talking more about how to use those. But using keywords that identify your products and services will help you get more views. Next, capture attention with video ads. This is an awesome statistic. So 93% of people that go on YouTube, they view the ads. And 95% they listen, okay? So, which means that 93%, you know, when you go on YouTube and then you get those videos that come up, okay, that's the percentage of people that actually view the ad. Now, an interesting thing here, the people or you, as you start figuring out how to create ads, you don't pay for an ad unless the viewer sees it all the way through. So even if the viewer sees it halfway through, you don't pay for that ad, which is interesting. How many people know what pay-per-click is? Just by a show of hands? Okay. Pay-per-click is whenever somebody clicks, it means that you, the person who's paying for this ad, you are paying for that person to view your ad. When it comes to video ads, you don't get charged until that viewer sees that whole ad towards the end. And isn't that cool? Because you could save a lot of money and you could also help to test the market. Okay, great. This is just a few examples of some video ads. So these are 3 types. Whoops. Oh, there you go. So there's bite size, snack, and meal. This is the way YouTube organizes it. So I'm just going to show you an example right now of a yogurt company who created a 6-second video, okay? Now with this 6-second video, this is a bite video, okay? 6-second video. 9 out of 10 people remember seeing this video. Let's take a look. See if this plays. Let's see. I'm just going to do this. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to get this to play, and I don't know if Mark back there can help me. There you go. Awesome. Thank you. That's it. That was it. That's all they did. And that ad right there, that generated so many views for them. But they got their point across. The lime of my life, okay? In 6 seconds, they were able to do that, okay? Next, the kinds of ads, there's something called True View, okay? And True View is the kind of ad that you can create. So you can add information, let's say to get a quote. If somebody is interested in working with you, if you're in a service company, you can highlight that as a call to action. Next, you can have a buy now, or you can have a learn more, okay? These are the different types of YouTube ads that you can create. Let's move on. So here we go. Let's talk about how to measure the effectiveness of YouTube. So there are 2 ways. There's online results and offline results. So you can measure, and this is what I was talking to you about before. So YouTube has the ability to give you all the analytics necessary to help you figure out how many people have seen your YouTube channel, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the presentation, how long they stayed on your YouTube channel, right? And when the point was when they left, and where they came from as well. So it tells you the time, it tells you the location, and it tells you how long. The reason why these analytics are so important is because when you're creating those bumper ads, right, those bite ads, and those bigger 30-second ads, is you can customize it directly for the consumers that are looking at your video. And isn't that amazing? Right? It's wonderful to figure out, okay, well, now I understand who they are, and now I understand how I can get in front of them effectively. So I am now getting the hand signal. It's time for me to end. So I'm just going to recap quickly. So we reviewed 3 major things: how to understand how to find your customers, how to capture the attention, and how to measure impact. We can go into deeper detail on each one of these, but the most important thing for you to know is that all of these resources, they exist, and they're out there for you. Let's see if we have something else. Oh, and that brings us to the end of this presentation. I felt like it flew by, right? So how about you give yourselves a hand of applause and another big hand for me for 5.2 hours of sleep and being in my favorite city, Miami. So thank you so much. Again, my name is Sixia Divine. We love reviews, so please share your review. We'd love to get your feedback. If you're interested in staying, I'm going to be here for 2 other workshops, and I'll be leaving around 12:30 or 1 o'clock. So let's take a break, and if you like, you can stay. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.